It is September the 7th, 2093. We have been at war with Russia for over 20 years. Our war has remained confined to designated areas until now. Russia has pushed forward into our country. 30 EMPs have been dropped in various locations throughout the United States, and we were one of the unlucky areas. Communication has been severely hindered. We have resorted to the use of horses and other animals to help with transport. The loss of holograms and teleportation has been a huge loss for us. Russia has gained the advantage, but hopefully we will rally and push back against them. This war has turned from something merely governmental to something personal. The government has taken this situation and has managed to turn it into something even slightly livable. Children up to age 18 go to school. Everyone else works for the government with small wages. Living is tough, but at least we're still alive. The people running the United States are idiots. They are letting Russian immigrants in on the basis that they do not support the Russian government. Thousands of Russians are entering the United States, and nothing is being done to suppress their rights or allowances. Anyone walking around the city is bound to see a few Russians in deep conversation. There is much conflict about whether the Russians are trying to escape their own government or if they're plotting something bigger. Groups have arisen supporting and rejecting the arrival of the foreigners. These groups are extremely radical, and it seems as though the concept of peaceful protest has been completely forgotten. It's been 5 years. The war rages on as strong as ever. The Russians who have moved into our country have not done anything bad, and it turns out that they are just trying to escape their own leader. Newspapers have printed stories about Russian leaders beheading their own people. However, the smallish groups that had formed for and against the Russians have turned their rivalry into a full-out war within a war. Everyone has to be careful of what they say, or they could get killed in the streets. Somehow our country is still alive, but I don't know how much longer it will last. It's all over. The war has ended, and everything is slowly returning to normal. Comforts like electricity are still gone, but it's expected to be a while before they come back up. The United States has won the war. We somehow managed to turn things back around, and we were able to pull out the victory. The Russians surrendered, and a hopefully long period of peace has begun. The groups inside of the United States backed down. Now that the war is over and the real force of the government isn't distracted anymore, I suppose that the groups became afraid and backed down before a massacre occurred. I'm sure that the government isn't going to mess around with things like the groups. If they remain, they get killed. Even though we won, the going is still tough, and many people are in bad spirits. Before this war began, our country was having issues with the economy. The war did everything except help this problem. Now that people are able to go back to their old jobs, taxes has skyrocketed to pay for the war efforts like weapons, soldiers' pay, and transportation. It seems as though the only way to pay for all of this is to borrow more money, which will continue to destroy our economy and put this country in debt. Even though taxes are extremely high, more is going out than is coming in. Although the consequences to a bad economy are not showing now, it won't be long before they do. To fix this problem, the government is going to have to make some tough decisions.